Are you considering opening up your own private practice, your telehealth private practice? Well, I have some insight for you in regards to how you can start your digital office and what tools you're going to need to be successful. So make sure, if you're not already, you are subscribed and locked in. So let's get into it. Now, before I go any further, if you're new here by some odd chance, my name is Anib Awi. I'm a licensed mental health therapist, clinical health educator, and today I want to help set you up for success in your private practice. Now, I've been in a telehealth setting now for about 5 years, and it was not easy starting off, but I eventually found my groove. And so I want to make sure that I give you the tips and the tools that I've been using that I have found to be help me be extremely successful. Now, fair warning, this stuff might cost money, but these are the things that you factor into your pricing and your scalability plan. So when you consider if or not you want to use a particular tool, I understand that money can be a factor, but these are, in my opinion, the really good ones. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing, first and foremost, is you need an EHR. If you're not familiar with what an EHR is, it's an electronic health record, right? All therapists need this, right? Now, whether you want to keep paper charts, you can still do that too, in addition to having your electronic healthcare record system. Now, you want to use something that is easy, user-friendly both on the provider side and on the client side. You don't want to overwhelm your clients and kind of helping them and kind of getting them onboarded into your practice and into your care. So I think without hands down, my favorite EHR that I've used right now has to be Simple Practice. Simple Practice is like intuitive, it's easy to use for both the client. All my clients have a really easy time getting all their paperwork done, right? I get all my informed consents, they all live in there, and I just send them out upon the first session, before the first session to my clients. And so they're able to access it really simple, really easy. And I love the convenience of it. I love that it houses so many different things. You can bill from there. If anybody has questions about billing, I made a video about that before regarding how I bill in Simple Practice. Make sure you check that out if you have questions about it. Also, there is a huge database of all these different forms, all these different consent forms, screening tools. Like, there's just so much in there, and I think it's definitely worth the price point. Now, as you begin to scale, especially if you're considering opening a group practice, the price does increase. So that's something, again, you want to factor into pricing models and things like that. But I do think Simple Practice does a really great job in just the intuitiveness of the tool, right? Simple, easy, and beautiful, and just easy to use, right? And so I love that, especially compared to the other tools out there. They can get really clunky and it's just not a smooth process. And I just need a smooth process for myself and my clients. And so I'm definitely going to recommend Simple Practice. And if you're interested in signing up today, you can use my code for a discount as you begin to sign up. The second thing that I think is important on top of your EHR, right? And also just kind of to go back to the EHR piece, encryption, they have all that, BAA agreements, they have all that, all the necessary documents that you need. The only thing which I think they've added since is that notice that I can't remember that we all have to give out within the past 2 years, like you and the client confirming like this is the price that you're going to pay for care, right? I can't remember the name of it, but if you remember, drop it in the comments if you're still here with me. So Simple Practice for my EHR, absolutely love them. Now, when I think about an email system, something where I can house secure data as well, I use Google Workspace. That's what I use my email from. That's also where I had my other therapists get their emails from as well. Also, we can share information. We can share different projects that we're working on, and you get access to the whole Google suite, which is a lot, which I really love and appreciate the convenience of that. I love Google Workspace. It's BAA certified. It's encrypted, so you don't have to worry too much about data or privacy issues. They have all that covered as long as you get the paid plan, right? So as long as you get the paid plan, you will have access to all of that. So that is something that is very important. And also with Google Workspace, like you can build websites, websites. You can buy more domains. Like you have access to just so much. And I live and die by Google Drive. So like when me and my team need to share something, me and my team are working on something simultaneously, we all have access to it through that Google Workspace. And so I highly recommend Google Workspace. And to take it a step further as well, like if you needed a phone number, business line, you could get that through your Google Workspace as well. Some people don't like it. I like it. It's convenient. It's fairly priced. And again, it covers the basis in terms of security and privacy that I need for myself and my clients and my practice. So making sure that I have that outside of the way. Now, another thing that I use that may be controversial is I do use AI note taking. I don't record sessions, but I do have the AI help me with my notes because I have seen that it's made a tremendous difference in my practice for the therapists on my team and myself included, because it can get overwhelming with notes. If you know, you know. One of the things that, or rather the tool that we use is AutoNotes. I love AutoNotes just because it's a tool that I think the people behind it, they know behavioral health. They've been in behavioral health, and I think they do a really good job in terms of their transparency with like data storage, all those things that are really important to us as practitioners going into this field. I think they do a really good job with that, and I feel like it's the best tool out there in terms of like transparency and kind of getting to know the people behind the tool. Like how often do you get to know the people behind the tools, right? And so like I appreciate that level of transparency, and I also appreciate the level of just having a space where fellow clinicians can talk and discuss and have conversations about the product, about the tool, give feedback. And so I love being able to have that give and exchange. And I think AutoNotes does an amazing job with that. And again, AutoNotes gives you the option to not only just record, but also you have the option to just give a few sentences about the session and take that and to create a beautiful note for you. And I really appreciate that. My team really appreciates that. And I think, of course, for the price point, you can't beat it. And I just, I talk about using AI responsibly. I talk about using AI in a careful manner. And if you're curious about any of those videos, I too have a bunch of videos on AI and being a therapist and being in the mental health world. I know some people are scared about it, worried about it, but like for me, it works. And of course, we give our clients informed consent. We let our clients know, and that's built within our informed consent package that we have housed in Simple Practice that clients sign off on. And if clients are not comfortable with that, we respect and honor that as well, because of course a client has a right to choose. So that's AI. Then last, if you will, but not certainly least, I do use Claude AI. Now, Claude AI may be the competitor to ChatGPT, and so this is a matter of preference. What I use these tools for is like maybe I will build like screening tools, maybe I'll build worksheets, maybe I'll build extra tools to sort of reinforce the learning, or some like thing that I want a client to really focus on in EMDR. And maybe I'm not a designer by trade or by any means of the stretch, but maybe it's something that I want my clients to work on. And so I love that AI could like develop that for me. And also just the convenience in it, the time that I save in kind of having the AI tool do it. And the reason why I use, or prefer rather, Claude AI versus like a ChatGPT is because I feel like it does a really good job in kind of understanding my voice, understanding what I do, who I am as a professional, and like encapsulating that in a way better way than I think ChatGPT can. And again, this boils down to preference. This is just what I found for myself. I tend to prefer Claude AI more so than ChatGPT, but this all boils down to what your individual preferences are. So those are the 4 must-haves that I recommend if you are starting your private practice, your telehealth practice. And I think this is a good starting point to get you all going. As you get more sophisticated, as you get to do more things, and you get to branch off a little more, you may find yourself needing more tools in addition to that. The beauty in that is that a lot of these things can plug in with like a Google Workspace per se, right? Or a Claude AI. You can plug that in, or you can link it to whatever platforms you're using. And more so, I'm thinking like Zapier, if you wanted to create a sort of segmented way of people like clicking in and like automatically getting all the forms. Like if you want to get really sophisticated and fancy like that, it's all possible. And when you use some of these platforms, again, like Google Workspace or like Claude AI, you can like create a plugin and it just be a seamless process. So like I'm working on that. I ain't there yet, but I've seen some therapists with some really sweet automation systems, and I hope to be at that level at some point. So hopefully this was helpful for you as you are beginning and embarking on your journey. And if you want more advice in terms of like what to do and what to look out for and how to get started, I do have other videos, and you can also feel free to always drop a comment below. I'm happy to answer and help you get started, because the only thing I regret about private practice and being in having a telehealth private practice is not starting sooner. The level of freedom, the level of creativity, the level of relaxation that I'm able to have by being in private practice is certainly unmatched, especially when you're coming from a setting like community mental health. So I wish you lots of success, and make sure you share this and you like this and just save it, especially come back to it as you are building out your private practices. Okay? Take care.